Here we go.
Okay.
Bearing in mind, as of right now, the playoffs haven't happened at the kind of 8 yet. And if you go and look, NaVi just beat Spirit, the number 1 team in the world, the major champions. This NaVi lineup will never be the number 1 team in Counter-Strike again. With this lineup, they will never be number 1 again. And the reason why I say that is this. And so I'm picking it when their stock's high. Everyone thinks they're going to be... A lot of people are probably going to pick them to win this tournament now, by the way, or be in the final and have a really good chance to. Right, first of all, it was a real thing last year. I even did like a deep dive on it. They just are way worse than BO5s. All the big fucking tournaments are BO5s now, it feels like. The Blast is, the ESLs are... Everything except the major, funnily enough, is a best of 5. So already, I feel like they're not going to win the events. Then I'll add in, I think, first of all, they've never been able to address their map pool issues. And the joke is, because everyone has to ban train, I don't know if you've noticed this, bro, they do the same thing as with Vertigo. If 2 teams ban train, they're going to ban train. If 2 teams ban Vertigo, they're going to ban Vertigo. They never fucking floated. I think they floated 1 time ever, and they must have just known that team was never going to pick that 1 time ever. Like, this is not the team that... They play very, very predictable in the veto. And then if you look at their map pool, they've never made any progress, bro. Their nuke's always going to be fucking sus as fuck. The Mirage can be very good. The Inferno's just hit and miss. Dust 2 can be good, but the firepower has to be there. I also do think as well, that whole thing where they don't have the superstars is going to be even worse this year. Because so many other teams that are the top teams, the lineups haven't worked yet. What's making Spirit and NaVi look so far ahead is all these other rosters that have tried the changes haven't yet come into fruition. None of them worked. At least 2 or 3 are going to work. At least a couple are going to form and actually be really good. And those teams, by the way, should immediately be in position to be beating NaVi and taking those final spots. And then lastly, I'll just throw this out there. The real miracle of last year, beyond the calling, the individual like play where they put up crazy numbers, their like tactical element, was they also had some unbelievable team play that was just so fine-tuned. Think about the Cologne final they lost. Bro, they were playing some amazing Counter-Strike in that series. Like ungodly retakes and 2-man game and people... Like, that is impossible to maintain forever. You just have times where there's a month or 2 people don't sync in the same way. Essentially, I think NaVi was like a perfect happenstance of a lot of factors at the same time. They rode it out quite a long time. They had like, 4 or 5 months who were really, really good. You saw them taper off a bit. They'll still be good. I could still see them in loads of semis. They can make a fight. They can win a tournament. I just don't think they can be number 1. And I know, by the way, that's what they gambled on with this roster. They sort of gambled. We just keep our position and somehow we get on top. I don't think they can do it. I think they're not going to be number 1.
Are we talking about the number 1 at the end of the year or number 1 at some moment?
No, I mean at all. This year they won't be a number 1 team. I mean, I don't know how HLTV calculates that shit, mate. So I know the real number 1.
The real, like, everybody can, when somebody says who is number 1, like...
If we all say Spirit's number 1 today, which I'm sure we would, right? Fair enough? Yeah. Then they're not going to be the number 1 like that.
That's the criteria.
Yeah, they'll never be number 1. I'm not going to cheat on that one. If they really win tournaments, I'll give them it. I'll say I was wrong. Don't worry about it.
Hard to say, though. It's really hard to say simply because...
It's tough. Yeah, it's tough.
Simply because, like, I don't see a lot of teams fighting for that number 1
So it's a hot take. It's a good one, right? Not bad.
So because there will be, like, just 3 or 4 teams fighting for that spot.
Yeah,
right? Spirit, Vitality, NaVi plus 1...
Maybe FaZe if they get the shit together.
Probably not.
Should have been G2, but probably not. Yeah.
So that's why I think at some point they might run into the good form or being number 1 for like a few months, maybe based on their own level of performance, but also maybe because of the fact that other 2 teams are not playing well. So they kind of are the best of the worst of the best teams. You know what I mean? So this is like... That's why that's kind of hard to say, so I do have to disagree on this one.
Go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, I would...
I'll be back to take this. I'll be back to clip this and put it on Twitter like a prick and at you all in fucking 8 months or something.
Do it.
Yeah, I'll take them. I think that they could be basically like, I don't know what like proves it, because if you want to just keep saying my eye test is that, you wouldn't be disingenuous.
If they are the number 1 team, I will get. They were the number 1 team last year, Maui. Yeah. I said they were a fluke at the mid. They were the number 1 team. Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, I had them as the best team of last year for sure. I mean,
totally
I think that like they'll win. I think there's a good... I don't think they're going to win this tournament, but I think that... Nah, they could be like the number 1. Yeah. I think they could be the number 1 team. The reason I say this is because I have an unreasonable amount of faith in Blade. I really do. I really just think he's the best coach by a large margin. I really... So I think like if there's anybody that's going to get them to stay good, it is him. And I also have a lot of faith in Alexi as a leader. And I don't... The problem is, And the weird thing about this team is that it's kind of changed for me, the dynamic of who's good and who's bad on it, where I think the worst player per role is definitely wonderful now, like definitely wonderful. And I think that the best players per role are Bit and Ema. I think Ema has really found himself, whereas like you take this time last year, he's just awful. Like he's so bad for them. And I think
should we do a quick sidebar, just like a 5-minute sidebar? Here's the sidebar. Isn't he the player where when people calculated, he's just fucking farming ecos quite literally?
Yes. I
looked
that up and tweeted about that.
You put him on Mirage, he's going to get all the ecos, but I'm just saying, I don't actually know how good he is.
He unfollowed me on Twitter because I pointed this shit out. Like I literally pointed this shit out on Twitter and he unfollowed me like within a day, and I was like, all right, dude, like I'm just pointing out like that was a Fugazi ass like MVP medal.
That's a legit thing to say, yeah.
Yeah, fine, whatever. I mean, but in reality, like I think he's just a lot more comfortable in his roles now. I think he looks way more polished on T sides. He's not, to me, he's a win condition for them. And Bit has been just, man, like I would say, like, you know, people were talking about ropz is like, oh, if you plug this guy on any team, they'd be happy to have him. Dude, I'll take Bit. I'll take Bit any day. Bit's a better fragger. He can move a lot faster. Maybe, and I would say that Bit is a bigger win condition for me. So
by the way, you've done it again. The hot take is Bit is better than ropz.
Yeah, Bit's better than ropz. That's
a good hot take. It's pretty. Listen, it's got a basis to it too. It's just
well, that was actually the reason I said that is because I wrote it down. I wrote this one down as a hot take. I didn't know how long we're gonna go in this show. Yeah. Because I think Bit is a much more valuable player today than ropz. I think he can. I don't know, the plug and play value of him is hard for me to tell, but like in terms of pure raw fragging ability, they play the same spots. Bit is better in those spots as a fragger. His multi-frag, because the thing is, ropz needs to set up every fight so perfectly for him to feel comfortable in it. But Bit can just be in the wrong spot and hit a headshot. Like he does it all the time. Like it's. I would almost say like, position-wise, I'd rather watch a ropz demo to learn, but to actually, like, if I want pure output, Bit's higher right now. So that's why I think he's better today. But no, I think that they can be to get back to your initial point. No, I think they can be #1 in the world for like 2-3 weeks straight this year.
Okay.
3 weeks.
No, but I'm saying there won't be at all. I'm just saying there won't be at all.
Yeah. They could be the #1 team in the world for like 3 weeks straight this year. Like I think that's very well within what they can do.
See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, you know, be a pleb and don't.